You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, B&B fans, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt. And I have to say that I think Steffy Forrester was clearly and obviously in the wrong, at least in the eyes of the law, when she came at Sheila Carter this week and physically attacked her. I want to dig into whether or not Sheila has the right to press charges on her daughter-in-law, and also who I think Steffy should have slapped instead of Sheila. Hey, we're going to unpack all this, but if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. So we started out a recent episode of Bold and Beautiful with Sheila giving herself 9/10 of a pedicure when Deacon mentioned her getting a discount. Then he asked her to come downstairs and cover a shift at Il Giardino because somebody wasn't there. She agreed, but Sheila was a little pouty about it because she's still upset that Deacon said they can't get married because of Hope's ultimatums. Then Kelly Spencer trotted into Il Giardino with her friend Danny and his mom Lucy. So Sheila, doing her job, came over to seat them at a table and said hi very briefly to Kelly. She remembered Sheila, and it was a very short, functional, polite conversation, really all business. And Sheila seemed to be, doing her job, nothing much more. Then Sheila continued doing her job, wiping down glasses behind the bar when Kelly took that selfie with Danny and sent it to Steffy, who of course went into full freak out mode. I think part of that was because Liam Spencer was just there and he got her all worked up about Sheila being a risk to her family. And of course, Liam's doing that to try and screw up Steffy and Finn's marriage. I am not too sure that Liam gives two craps about Sheila. She's just a tool to leverage so that he can try and destroy the marriage of the woman he wants. Same old Liam stuff. But Steffy was fresh off of that convo where Liam just wouldn't let it go like a dog with a bone. So that was her mindset when Steffy saw that selfie of Sheila, who was clearly across the room. She wasn't with them. She was tiny and in the background. She was not engaging with Kelly, talking with Kelly, sitting down with Kelly. She wasn't having lunch with them. She wasn't lurking across the room. Still, Steffy flipped out. She called Lucy, told her to take the kids and leave. So I guess they didn't get to have lunch. That's not great parenting. You got to feed your kids, Plus, Steffy and Liam didn't even ask where Lucy was taking Kelly and Danny for lunch. She mentioned pizza, but I have to say that alone is bad parenting / very sloppy soap writing. Who lets their elementary school age kid out of the house with someone else without knowing exactly where they're going, when they'll be back, what they'll be doing, and who all will be there, right? That's parenting 101. So in my mind, that was a big fail for Steffy and Liam for not asking the questions you should ask before you hand over your kid. Also, speaking of bad parenting, just an aside, Liam came in and referred to Kelly as the daughter he liked best. That's haha funny. Not funny though, because he has another daughter. But I do think in that moment, maybe Liam was speaking truth because Lord knows we never see him with Beth. And he's been remarkably absent from her life, several times recently since splitting from Hope. In fact, if you remember, I think at the mermaid party, Hope even commented that Beth was asking, "Where's my dad?" And she lied and said he was working. We know he's only focused on one daughter now because he's only focused on one of his baby mamas. So yeah, I fully do believe that Liam's favorite daughter is the one living with the woman he's trying to steal from her husband. So also, just by the way, you're not supposed to say out loud, even if you do have a favorite kid. Also, parenting 101. Anyway, Steffi beelines for Sheila's place. She pounded on the door like she's in an episode of Cops and then chewed Sheila a new one. Sheila spoke facts calmly. I was at work doing my job. Your daughter showed up. It's not like Sheila could leave. She was already covering someone else's shift. It should be on Steffi to put Il Giardino on a list of banned places for her family and kids, right? Il Giardino cannot adjust their business and their staffing around Steffi's opinion or anybody else's opinion. And yes, I know Sheila shot Steffi and Finn. Horrible parenting behavior, by the way. The worst. But one assault doesn't excuse another assault in the eyes of the law. I'm not taking Sheila's side in terms of the larger moral picture. Just to be clear, I like Sheila because I like villains, but in the grand scheme of things, yes, Sheila is definitely worse, but the eyes of the law, they treat different incidences separately. I'm talking about the law. So Steffi was slinging nasty words at Sheila, understandably, in this situation, but Sheila was minding her business. And then Sheila told Steffi to leave. And that's what Steffi should have done. And that's where the law comes into it. Steffi said her piece. She should have then walked away, but she didn't. And Sheila took her by the arm to show her the door. I mean, that's kind of reasonable behavior. And then Steffi punched Sheila so hard that she knocked her to the ground. I will tell you this, had Sheila called the cops at that point, Steffi would have been in handcuffs. I double checked the laws in California just to verify, but yeah, if somebody's in your home who doesn't live there or rent from you and you want them to leave and they refuse to leave, you can use reasonable force to make it happen. In this case, Steffi was being verbally aggressive and Sheila told her to leave. She refused to leave. She put her hand on her arm. That's reasonable force. She didn't yank her, pinch her, pin her, trip her, do anything violent. She didn't even yank her arm. She placed her hand on it to show her to the door. That's not assault. Now, what Steffi did, absolutely assault. Of course, we do know the fight didn't stop there. If it had stopped there, Sheila would be completely in the right and the cops would perp march Steffi out of that crappy little apartment and book her. But on the next episode, things devolved even more. Sheila came back furious, got physical with her, and then Deacon and Finn had to show up and physically pull them off each other. It is a mess, to be certain, but Steffi shouldn't have done that the way that she did. When Sheila said leave, that's when she should have walked out. And when Sheila touched her arm, I know she didn't like it, but that was not a call to escalate, I do think it's safe to say, very understandably, that Steffi has PTSD where Sheila is concerned and is going to react a lot more strongly to Sheila touching her than anybody else. It definitely triggered something in her. And I do think that's the kind of thing a judge would take into account and would likely diminish or drop any charges that Sheila filed if the fight had stopped there and Sheila called 911. But that's at the judge level. At police level, I absolutely think they would have arrested Steffi and booked her and then let the judge sort it out. But things are about to get much worse. Here's the thing, though. I do think Steffi should have slapped someone else entirely. And I think that person is Liam. He came into her house again without knocking, said goodbye to Kelly, and then stuck around uninvited. He should have left when his daughter did. He has no reason to be lurking in a house alone with his ex-wife, especially his ex-wife that he's trying to hook up with. And then he started in on her husband, trashing him, telling her she's got to unload him or it's going to be an ongoing problem. At the point that Liam started blasting Finn, Steffi should have just dropped the hammer on him. This is the umpteenth time Liam has dropped by to crap on her marriage and get her all worked up. And Steffi is not taking a strong enough stance with him, telling him, shut up, get out, quit crap talking my husband, don't come back until you respect my marriage, and I'll have the nanny drop off Kelly for your visits. Or better yet, knock him upside the head like she did Sheila, and maybe it would knock some sense into Liam, because she is letting him disrespect her marriage. Hope shut him down harder when he was criticizing Thomas than Steffi has ever shut him down criticizing Finn. And that says something right there. Let me know what you guys think. Did Steffi assault Sheila? Do you think Steffi went too far, or was it called for. What do you think? Be sure and drop your comments. Definitely click subscribe if you haven't already, and come back soon. We're here talking bald 7 days a week. And as always, it is Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.